Succession planning does not necessarily mean that blood will take over my business.
Being a global brand,
Oh yes, oh yes.
it was a rough road.
Oh, very rough.
India is not for everyone.
So I will break this up into, there was a pre-internet era, and there's an internet era, and there's a COVID, and there's a post-COVID.
Yeah.
Opened a bank account digitally,
Wow.
and said, from here onwards, you will send me money digitally.
उनको 2 मिनट उनसे बात करनी है, उनको एक चाय मिलेगी, वो बैठेंगे, वो चर्चा करेंगे आज पॉलिटिक्स में क्या हुआ, आज धान का रेट क्या है, आज सोने का रेट क्या हुआ, आज मार्केट कैसे क्रैश हो गया, ट्रम्प क्या कर रहा है.
The grassroots execution
Yeah.
is the key. Well, then the businesses also will also go in that direction,
I'm super excited to invite you to Channel Champions Season 3. पिछले 2 सालों में हमने करीब 40 से ज़्यादा इंडियन बिजनेस लीडर्स, कॉर्पोरेट इनोवेटर्स के साथ इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन किए. हमने समझा कि चैनल और चैनल लॉयल्टी में जो प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी, टर्जरी है उनका क्या इंपॉर्टेंस होता है, कैसे लास्ट माइल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स आज इंडिया की इकोनॉमी को ड्राइव कर रहे हैं. जब हमने सोचा कि चैनल चैंपियन सीजन 3 का आगाज कैसे किया जाए, तो दिमाग में नाम आया एक ऐसे बिजनेस लीडर को बुलाया जाए जिन्होंने करीब 40 साल इंडियन कॉर्पोरेट को दिए हैं. इंडिया में जिलेट से लेके ल्यूमिनस तक एक शख्स का नाम हर जगह सुनाई देता है. आई एम सुपर एक्साइटेड एंड थ्रिल्ड टू इनवाइट श्री विपुल सबरवाल सर to today's conversation on Channel Champions Season 3. Vipul Sabharwal sir brings 40 years of experience. Previously, he was the managing director for over 7.5 to 8 years with Luminous. Currently, he is on the board of RR Kabel. And I am super thrilled because ये दोनों कंपनियां इंडिया के एक इमर्जिंग इकोसिस्टम को डिफाइन करती हैं. Sabharwal sir, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here today. It's an honor to to interact with you and to be here with you today. And thanks for the kind words.
सर, जब आप पहली बार किसी कॉर्पोरेट में ज्वाइन किए, आपका पहला इंटरेक्शन किसी डीलर के साथ, रिटेलर के साथ, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के साथ क्या था और क्या आपको उससे सीखने को मिला था सर?
Very good question. मैं एक इसका थोड़ा सा I'll give you another dimension. See, when I started working, it was 1984. So
I am born in 1984.
so this means I'm an old man. So no
But
doubt.
you are an handsome hunk. Let's accept it.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind word. So India historically has come from a supply side economics. At 1947 when India got independent, there wasn't much supply chain. So the first endeavor which has happened is how to produce it and somehow sell it. That was the first phase of the economic growth.
True.
Because it came from supply side. So the first and foremost was that a distributor was a cost-effective extension arm of the company to take the product to the retailers, because India was a large retail outlet base. Because at some point in time, it was a manifestation of disguised unemployment. You see, historically, the rules around the shopping, retailing have allowed many manifestations of retail. Somebody could open up a shop in the house, he could open a window and sell, stand on the road, kiosk, and they were basically manifestations of unemployment. And therefore, the ecosystem had to be cost effective. Basic infrastructure was not there. So basically, even within a big city like Delhi, you could not manage with one distributor. So you needed people closer to the consumption. So the concept was, how can I get closer to consumption?
Closer to consumption.
So if I needed 1 tier or 2 tiers, but how do I get closer to consumption? And keep the cost structure low, because there wasn't much cash in the economy. People worked on rotation. Distributors wanted stocks as soon as possible. Retailers said, I don't have cash. Can you give it to me? I can sell and pay you back. So the cycle of I would say the commercial cycle was based, when you get close to consumption, can I have faster rotations? Can I make sure that I'm able to reach the person when he wants the demand? So many times there was a shopper study done across so many categories and chocolates and so on and so forth. So the shopper, the consumer or the retailer knew at 9 o'clock in the morning what cigarette will I buy, which brand will be sold. And in the evening, he would make sure that which brand will sell in the evening, he had the inventory. So either he got from the distributor or from the nearest wholesaler so that he could keep his inventory within a check, at the same time meet the consumer demand. So an ecosystem like that was built on trust.
True.
I trust you, I trust the retailer.
True.
I need you to co-create. The retailer needed a company's brand board, a distributor needed a board, a relationship. I want to create the ecosystem in the marketplace. That was the fundamental. The third dimension was, can you help me grow? Because the reliance on company to do a lot was very high because that was seen as the big brother.
Wow.
So he said that, so he was always lean upon an organization and say, okay, I want to have growth. I want to have prosperity. What can you do for me? How you can make me do better?
So it was expected from the company.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because it was the manifestation of somebody who had more experience and knowledge to do that.
Okay.
And it also goes back to some parts of the thinking which are left behind by the East India Company, because that was a commercial operation in India.
True. True.
So, if you ever get a time to read, the first company in the world, a book called East India Company. It was, I think, in the 1600 or somewhere created. It's worth reading the book. It was a commercial operation of how the East India Company went all over and created a commercial operation, and how then subsequently distribution system got set up.
True. Wow. So sir, जब आप पहली बार किसी डीलर या रिटेलर से बात की आपने, तो what was your role that time? What was the thought? And I'm, for example, आपने इतना बड़ा टाइम जिलेट के साथ स्पेंड किया है, and I was thrilled to know that. जिलेट के बारे में कई स्टोरीज हैं, उन्होंने रेजर लॉन्च किया. I think we would love to know from you, what was that about? Why is that so? And क्या उसका actually में impact था?
So Gillette was, I think, a great, innovation company and a great sales organization. That was the combination, or what I would call it, the fusion of the two together. So when Gillette came into India for the first time, the first 4 or 5 years were a very, very rough road. Not much.
Being a global brand,
Oh yes.
it was a rough road.
Oh, very rough.
India is not for everyone. Huh?
I think it depends upon the points in time, and I'll talk about telecom later when we talk about it.
Okay.
A rough road. Market was, price driven. One too many players. A closed economy. License Raj and so on and so forth. And getting to bring a technology into the country and a simple product like shaving wasn't that easy. So I think the power of demonstration, power of conviction. And at one point, the company was not making money, and so the parent company came and said that, okay, we first have to get the unit economics correct, that you are profitable.
Also, they wanted profit from the day one.
No, not from day one, but I think at some point in time there was a loss, and subsequently they said, okay, fine, let's leave the loss behind, but let's get the unit economics correct, so that from here onwards, whatever you do, the volume grows. And a lot of time was spent upon training the sales force. The fundamental of that organization, the sales organization, was built on reach, coverage, and training. And at training, and I'm going to talk about it, that a lot of people believe that training is not so critical. But I think for a long period of time, the storytelling was trained and trained and trained. And every time you went back to the trade, you had a believable but a different story, because the share of mind of the retailer was important. And why that storytelling was important? So that when he sells to the consumer, he remembers even half of it. He can sell to the consumer. Because it was based on display, it was based on impulsiveness, it was based on... Because for a long period of time, and I'm talking the pre-internet era,
Correct.
the shopper insights were based on what I knew, what my friends told me, or the retailer.
True.
The moment of truth was told by the retailer.
Yeah.
He was the point of reference to answer the unanswered questions in my mind. So he could stand up to the company. He would stand up for the consumer, to the consumer, and say, here is the company which brings a good product. I believe in it. Why don't you try? Because you see, when talking about mass-based products, for a lot of people, there is no room for error.
True. There's no room.
No room. Now, people say that big brands don't sell in rural India. That's not correct. Because for the rural consumer who has got very little money, there is no room for error.
True.
An urban consumer, or not, okay, urban rural may not be the right comparison. A person with a slightly more disposable income has room for error. If he buys a product, doesn't like it, he can change it. But for the rural consumer, or for the people who don't have that kind of disposable income, there is no room for error. So therefore, big brands have done well
Yeah.
in those areas because they have given the trust, they've given that confidence that here is something you can try. The shopkeeper is also supported by saying you can trust it.
Yeah.
Because I know this comes from a good company. So I think to put a whole conceptualization around it, I think in every category, the shopper insights is critical. And there's a pre-internet era and there's a post-internet era.
No, even right now, sir, I completely, have seen it first hand. मेरे फादर की खुद की एक दुकान है एंड काउंटर जो उनका काउंटर दैट इज़ द मोमेंट ऑफ ट्रुथ. मेरे फादर की दुकान के सामने एक किराने की दुकान है जिसमें करीब 20-25 सालों से तो मैं ही देख रहा हूँ. तो जब लास्ट टाइम मैं ग्वालियर गया था तो मैं दुकान पर बैठा, किराने की दुकान पर. कस्टमर जो आता है वो एक दिमाग में परसेप्शन लेके आता है कि मुझे ये ब्रांड चाहिए, लेकिन वो जो किराने वाले भैया हैं 95% ऑफ द टाइम वो उसका ब्रेन परसुएट कर देते हैं कि ये वाला नहीं, ये वाला बेटर है. तो ऐसा मैंने 3-4 बार देखा. तो एक बार मैंने इनसे पूछ भी लिया, आई आस्क्ड हिम कि भैया वो ये वाला ब्रांड मांगने आया था, आपने ये वाला दे दिया. एंड दैट इज़ वेयर अ वेरी पावरफुल इंसाइट इज दैट एज यू राइटली मैंशन, वहाँ पर इमोशनल कनेक्ट विद द ब्रांड फॉर द रिटेलर, एंड वी आर कॉलिंग देम द ट्रू इन्फ्लुएंसर,
Correct.
plays a very important role.
Absolutely correct.
It is no more just the margins.
No.
It is no more just the product, or it is no more just the demand.
Absolutely.
मतलब यहाँ तक मैंने सुना है वो कहता है कि नहीं ये ब्रांड अच्छा लगता है, मैं उसको बेचता हूँ. उसने अपनी दुकान के ऊपर बड़ा बोर्ड लगाया हुआ उस ब्रांड का. द ब्रांड माइट बी पेइंग और दिस गाय माइट बी चार्जिंग, वट एवर इट इज़, बट यदि उसके दिल में आपके लिए प्यार, मोहब्बत, ट्रस्ट है, तो नो मैटर वॉट द कस्टमर विल आस्क, ही विल ट्राई टू पुट इट इन फ्रंट ऑफ दैट.
Absolutely correct.
And that's how it happens. I think currently what's happening is कि एक if we have to divide this entire economy, there are 3-4 ways to do that. One is the generation quick commerce, right? Which is primarily जिनको convenience समझ में आ रही है. They have the money to spend because now everyone is talking about quick commerce, पर as much as you have the discounts, slowly those discounts are disappearing, delivery charges are popping up, which means that eventually you'll end up paying slightly even more than what you will pay to your nearest retailer. Then you have an e-commerce one, okay? So उनके पास time है थोड़ा सा, they are patientful, they can wait for 2 days delivery and probably similar rate. Then there is a generation which is how India was built, जिसको हम कहते हैं बेबी बूमर्स, राइट? वो रिटेलर्स पर जाते हैं सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट खरीदने के लिए नहीं, उनको 2 मिनट उनसे बात करनी है, उनको एक चाय मिलेगी, वो बैठेंगे, वो चर्चा करेंगे आज पॉलिटिक्स में क्या हुआ, आज धान का रेट क्या है, आज सोने का रेट क्या हुआ, आज मार्केट कैसे क्रैश हो गया, ट्रम्प क्या कर रहा है. नाउ एट दैट मोमेंट इट इज़ नॉट अबाउट प्रोडक्ट, it is about the relational emotional connect that you have with the influencer, as I call that. Be it a dealer, distributor, retailer, all your architect, painter, electrician, carpenter, all of these people
Absolutely.
are running the ecosystem with that relational connect. Now brands, उनके ऊपर ये जिम्मेदारी हो जाती है. It is no more just a, as they call, ये सिर्फ उनकी वो नहीं है कि ये, this is not just a checkbox. This is a responsibility that the brand owners, the managing directors or the brand leaders own, कि उस लास्ट माइल के साथ एक empathetic connect बना के रखें.
Absolutely correct.
And that plays a very powerful role.
Absolutely correct.
So sir, Gillette Whirlpool, Luminous, RR Kabel. You have worked across so many different types of industries, and many of these were building the products for the first time. They were launching things for the first time. So, what's that one thing which you always feel कि channel partners हर जगह सेम होते हैं? आपको लगता है ऐसा? वो क्या एक ऐसी चीज़ होगी जहाँ पर उन सब का बिहेवियर, उन सब का रवैया आपको सेम लगा?
That's a great question, Abhinav. So I think there are 3 or 4 dimensions which have not changed. First and foremost is that I'm taking the main section.
Yeah.
I will not talk about the outliers and all.
Yeah.
They're within a scope of definition. Their value systems are reasonably intact because no distributor will ever like to spoil his reputation because reputation travels very fast.
Wow.
So then their value systems are intact. 2, they always believe in co-creation.
Co-creation.
Yeah. आप कुछ करेंगे हम कुछ करेंगे तो कंपनी ग्रो करेगी. That's the second point. Third point is they're very hardworking because their business model is worked on daily margin, irrespective of category, irrespective of size and scale.
Daily margin.
Yeah. They know that today morning if I've opened my distributor shop, there are certain people going out, that's an expense for me, and I'm getting some order. And in the evening when I'm going to close,
क्या मेरा bottom line होने वाला है?
what is my sale? They know
True.
their expenses. They know every number at the back of their hand.
Wow.
So they have a business model which focuses on daily. And the third thing which I would say is that they believe that the brands and the organizations have a big role to play in their growth. I'll take a couple of examples to that. When I worked for Gillette, the size of Gillette was significantly smaller than some of the big companies like
Yes.
Unilevers and Liptons and the Tatas of the world.
Correct.
So we met a distributor. Very surprised, being a Unilever distributor or a Tata distributor, he was taking up a small company like Gillette turnover. So we asked him, you're so occupied. He said, these companies, I've taken it for today. And the Gillette company have taken it for tomorrow because they believe in the future.
Wow.
And I've taken it for my children, I've taken it for my grandchildren. What I want, what my financial needs are, can be met with the big.
The ongoing work.
But where I believe the growth will come, the future will come tomorrow, is I take the decisions today. So
Wow.
even in that dimension, their belief and they're able to read through the situation that where am I going to invest, where I'm going to build relationships for the tomorrow, where am I going to build. So the feeling that I have to learn to co-create and choose the right kind of partners is absolutely critical in that.
And it's same everywhere, right?
Across
सर
the
आपने
board.
पॉइंट बोला कि मैं अपने एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर बोलता है मैं अपने चिल्ड्रंस के लिए ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रंस के लिए ले रहा हूँ बट आजकल ऐसा दिखाई देता है एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई एम हियरिंग फ्रॉम ब्रांड्स वी वर्क विद अबाउट 100+ brands in channel categories who has large distributor base, a humongous retailer and dealer base. जो सेकंड जनरेशन है वो बिजनेस में आ ही नहीं रही है उनके साथ. बट आप कह रहे हैं कि डीलर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर हमेशा ये सोचता है मैं अपने बच्चों के लिए कुछ ले रहा हूँ या ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रंस के लिए. डोंट यू थिंक इट्स कंट्राडिक्टिंग नाउ जो उनका एक थॉट प्रोसेस था वर्सेस आज जो एक थॉट प्रोसेस है इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट.
So, historically speaking, succession planning is an issue in all Indian run businesses.
All Indian run
Succession
business. Sir, it's a
planning.
big statement you're making.
I'm telling you, so either those who plan properly have continued the ecosystem.
बट सर लाला जी तो लाला जी होते हैं ना उनको तो लगता है उनने बनाया हुआ है.
हाँ तो succession planning does not necessarily mean that blood will take over my business.
Wow. Wow.
Suppose if I've created a company, I've become a distributor. For some good reason, my children don't want to do it. Doesn't mean that the business is to close down with me. Which is what the missing point is. Can I get a professional person to run my distribution business and I can keep seeing the benefits of it coming with me over a longer period of time? Missing thought. So the perception is that my blood has to take over my business. May or may not happen.
Wow.
And that's the missing piece. Now, large organizations have done succession planning very well. Not necessarily the blood has taken over the business.
Yes.
Now, what the distributors are evolving over a period of time, and some of them are taking it. Can I get a professional person? Can I give him more share of the profit, and he can run the business? Some have come to the stage, some have still not come to the stage.
बट सर एक इक्विटी शेयर तो ऐसा है ना कि ओवर माय डेड बॉडी
Well, then the business is also
Dead.
will also go in that direction, So
Interesting.
the point is that the professionalization is a business need, not a fashionable thing. And I've seen it. I've seen some people who have been in the furniture business, and we had to buy something from somebody. He said, "Sir, my dispatches happen through an ERP, and that is music to my ears."
Wow.
Yeah, reasonably, large size person. Now, why is he doing that? Because you see, even if I'm not here physically, my business runs.
Correct.
I don't need to be here physically. Now, that's a ethos which will come. That tomorrow, okay, my children may or may not want to take over the business.
True.
That doesn't mean that the wealth or the business I've created suddenly will disappear. I process it, I bring in systems, I professionalize, bring in a professional manager, and let him run the business, and the wealth creation continues.
Oh, this is great. Exactly. मैं सर एक पॉडकास्ट सुन रहा था उसमें someone who worked very closely with Reliance board. They said the way how Ambanis look at our business is that we are the owners, but we may not be the professionally best people to run this. And that's a very powerful thought. When world's one of the, richest billionaire says and acts like that, then I think everyone has to learn and grow.
Absolutely correct.
So, what is that one thing in this journey where you literally swapped by looking at, oh wow, this distributor has done something like this, I never imagined. I saw that example where you said a furniture वाले ने ERP लगाया हुआ है कि यार मैं हूँ या इधर नहीं हूँ, मेरा धंधा एकदम सही चल रहा है, all things are in place. But anything else that you have seen?
So let me take you to an example which is really stuck in my mind. It was when I was in Nokia, and because of the telecom operators rate arbitrage at one point in time, people would change SIM within 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers.
True.
So the dual SIM became a big phenomenon. And at that point in time, Nokia launched the first dual SIM phone, which didn't do well. And so we had to take back some decisions. And I was working the market, and I still remember the place. It was, Gurdaspur.
Gurdaspur, Punjab.
Punjab, deep interior. So we went to one mobile handset shop, and दुकान पे गए. तो उसने कहा, सर आप बैठो. I said, either it's good news or bad news, I don't know. He said, आप समझ नहीं रहे हो, आप ड्यूल सिम आपका जब फेल हो जाता है तो हमारे लिए कितनी प्रॉब्लम होती है. तो the back of mind I was thinking, there are so many Chinese phone which is selling, and his margin is in those phones is way ahead of
Correct.
the margin you will ever make in a Nokia phone. And I said आप हमारा फेल हुआ ना, हमने चलो माल वापस लिया, took some decisions and so on and so forth, but you're selling so many Chinese phone, you make probably 2 to 3 times more profit than you make in Nokia phone. So fine, I understand the angst. And he got agitated. He said, सर आप समझ नहीं रहे हैं. I said, अच्छा. कहते हैं सर, जब मैं नोकिया का माल भेज देता हूँ तो मेरे को श्योरिटी है कि बंदा वापस नहीं आएगा.
Wow.
और जब मैं कोई और माल भेजता हूँ तो मैं पे करता हूँ कि वापस ना आए. चाहे मैं कमाता कम नोकिया से, लेकिन नोकिया का माल बेच के मैं घर जाकर सो जाता हूँ कि मैंने इसको बेच दिया, मेड माई प्रॉफिट. नाउ द प्रोडक्ट विल डिलीवर एंड द कंपनी विल टेक केयर ऑफ इट. सो इन हिज माइंड देयर इज अ सेगमेंटेशन ऑफ द मार्केट. ही नोज कि जो ब्रांड लेने आया उसको मैंने ब्रांड देना है. जिस कंज्यूमर को मैं कन्विंस कर सकता हूँ, आई कैन स्वैप द ब्रांड. I have all kinds of consumers coming in my shop.
Correct.
The consumer at 9 o'clock is different, the consumer at 6 o'clock is
Absolutely.
different. 6 o'clock is different.
Absolutely.
So he says, I have to have a different portfolio and a different strategy. And I need good brands to bring good products. because I need that turnover, I need that consumer satisfaction. I've got segmented consumers in my ecosystem.
Nice.
And therefore, he probably has the best understanding of the consumer insight. And it is upon companies to bring the conceptual knowledge of what they do in research and what the trade is saying to say, okay, we have a portfolio. We have a portfolio for you, we have a portfolio for you, we have a portfolio for you.
Wow.
So I think that was the day, and I said, wow. And this is in Gurdaspur. I never thought I could have understood in a slightly bigger town somebody saying that. But he said, here is a person who's really sure of it. I'm sure others as well, but maybe he was more articulate in expressing it. And we had the time to understand what he was trying to say. Then we went back. That was not there. When we went back, then the second dual SIM came. And we tested the product. I said, we can fail once, but we can't fail the second time.
True.
So we tested the product. I sat down with the product team and they got all the products. I said, can you put all the possible SIMs in the room and show me how these will work in the marketplace? Then the second time when we went, it was a big success.
Nice.
I didn't have the time to go back to Gurdaspur and check with that person, how does it feel now? But I'm trying to say that we believe that sometimes they only want margin, but that's not true.
No, that's not true.
They want absolute money.
True.
Which comes from margin and comes from volume.
Yeah.
And they know how to manage the ecosystem.
Correct.
And the third lesson which I learned was, don't try to manage how he should manage his profit. We have to give equal opportunity to all.
Correct.
And let them decide their business model.
Correct.
And
be fair to all.
Be fair to all, equal opportunity to all. They know how their business will run. Let them do it. Your job, your job is to provide the best opportunity, the best products, the best service, good ecosystem, good sales organization, which go out and build relationship and are available to the outlets.
Yeah, be there for them.
Absolutely.
And that brings me to a very interesting point, sir. आजकल क्या होता है कि as a technology company, we keeps getting lot of these requests. यार हम retailer को ये सिखाना चाहते हैं, हम retailer को ऐसे बताना चाहते हैं, वो ऐसे ये कर सकता है. And that is very powerful. When you said यार उसको मत सिखाओ, वो अपनी दुकान चला रहा है 10 साल से, सक्सेसफुली रन कर रहा है, उसकी रेपुटेशन है. अब आप जाके सडनली उसको कहते हैं भैया मैंने आपको ये ऐप दिया है, इसमें ये वाले ट्रेनिंग वीडियोस जरूर देख लेना आप. यू नो व्हाट जनरली इट डज, आपके जाने के बाद वो ऐप भी अनइंस्टॉल कर देता है और फ़ोन अपना साइड में रख लेता है.
एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट.
सो सर, अभी तक हमने ना सारी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ें रिलेटेड टू बिजनेस की, चैनल पार्टनर्स, रिटेलर्स, काउंटर्स, गुरदासपुर, जिलेट. मैं थोड़ा पर्सनल एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आपका देखना चाहता हूँ. लुकिंग बैक एट दिस जर्नी, what are those decisions that have changed the way you started seeing things completely? And what did you learn? And one thing that you'd like to share with all of us that we, as growing business leaders, we can follow.
Good point. So, I will break this up into, there was a pre-internet era, and there's an internet era, and there's a COVID, and there's a post-COVID.
Yeah.
So, I think I will...
4 sections.
4 sections of it. And since you're asking about messaging, I will put it down there. So, at the period of the no internet, a lot of information dissemination had to come from company and percolate down and down and down to the retailer.
The channel.
So everybody had to over-communicate.
True.
So that the last...
Over-communicate.
Over-communicate. So the last piece
interesting.
get at least the bare minimum.
हाँ. काम की information
over-exaggerate.
हाँ.
And I give great credit to people like Nokia. They said, for a large part of people in Asia, and specific to India, they said their first internet experience will happen on the mobile phone.
Wow.
And they said this in 2006. And I didn't believe it. I said, this is the guy saying it. But I think it's happening now.
Yes.
The laptops are dead.
Yeah.
Today the world of internet is all gone.
Yeah.
So I think the second point I would like to leave behind, since you raised the question, is that learn to embrace technology and change and adapt it to your company and strategy.
Learn to embrace technology and change and adapt it to
your own company now. I'll take an example.
Yeah.
So in COVID, suddenly everything was standstill. I think it was March 2020.
Yeah.
There's a lockdown, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. Um,
I don't know if I ever told you, Almonds AI is actually a COVID baby.
I know that.
Right?
I
Before
met
that,
you.
we were doing multiple things, but COVID gave us a focus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So suddenly everything stands still. Um, our money is in the market. Our suppliers want money.
Yeah.
So what do? And we're like a diamond fulcrum.
True.
We're in the middle, and both sides are. So we said we need to build the trust on both the guys.
True.
For a long period of time, at that point in time, we had not borrowed money from the banks and so on and so forth. So we sat down and said, I think we need to borrow. He said, why? I said, we need to pay our suppliers first. We settled all our supplier bills and said,
Wow.
those confidence we need to build. And we had a lot of credit notes lying in our books. And we said we paid to all our distributors, a large amount, significantly large amount. We paid it to them. So both sides, the trust got built. Then we can't go to the retailer and the retailer can't go to the consumer. Both are locked.
True.
But came WhatsApp. We did one small experiment. So we said, let's make a product page. And by that time, we had figured out we were going to the market that an average distributor would have about 500 to 600 retailers. And every retailer had 2,000 or maybe more or lesser consumer names in his phone book.
Yes.
That was the two data points we had. So we said we need to communicate over the internet from distributor to retailer. So we made a WhatsApp page and we sent to one distributor. Can you tell all your retailers they can buy the product from you? Nobody will come. I will get somebody from delivery to deliver to you, and you will make me payment digitally over the internet. And they were in a reasonably mixed bag of cash economy. And I said, distributors, we said, listen, you have better relationship with the bankers than the retailers have got. You have to make sure every retailer of yours has a bank account open in your bank or any bank of his choice, but you have to facilitate it. I still remember the distributor very well. He said, I'll get it done. I think 72 hours, he had 500 or 600 retailers whom he was servicing, opened a bank account digitally.
Wow.
And said, from here onwards, you will send me money digitally.
Wow.
I will send good people from my godown, leave the stock outside your shop. You will send me payment digitally.
Wow.
So contactless, no contact, but we will move.
Wow.
But that's not the end of the game. So I said, okay. The consumers, because of the lockdown, a lot of people had moved to smaller towns because they said, "Dhanda hi nahi hai, we have to move to this." Yeah. But the internet moved there faster.
True.
Because they had to work from home.
True.
So a home which never required an inverter battery for uninterrupted power supply suddenly said, I need an inverter battery because I have to work from home.
There you go.
So he said, how are we going to get it? So we made a flyers and told the distributor or the retailer that you send to all the people in your phone book that we are open. We will deliver the inverter and battery from Luminous at your home, and we will also send an electrician with full mask and all to install it. Guy sent it, and there was inertia. She said no response. I said to her, then we put the sales team responsibility. We want to put an Excel spreadsheet. Every retailer, how many WhatsApp messages have they sent in their phone book? If they send to 100, record 100. If they send to 50, record 50. But we have to reach the number of 1,500 to 2,000 over a period of 1 week.
So we have to show the incremental growth.
And they started doing that. And suddenly the retailer started getting orders from consumer. I need internet, my battery is down.
Oh, wow.
We sent to societies, if we are available, we'll deliver it in COVID with sanitization mask. Suddenly an ecosystem which was shut started waking up.
Wow. And retailer being the forefront of it.
And therefore, we actually went ahead and trained our sales team how to make adaptable WhatsApp messages because the basic framework came from the company, but the retailer's mobile number we couldn't put in a central office. So we taught the sales team, okay, here is the message. How do you change the name below? How do you enter the word and clean
Wow.
and send to the retailer? And we told the retailer, now you sit down at every phone book in your number, you will send a message. And this came from somewhere else. I'll talk about it, where we got the idea from. It was in germination inside the organization, but it came from some other ecosystem, and I'll explain that. And the system started moving and moving and moving and moving.
Wow.
And we were probably the first ones to open the market, recover the money, first one to start the factory, and moved ahead in the game. Now, this idea came from a person selling utensils.
Utensils?
Yeah, he was in Delhi. He knew nobody can come to him. He had a phone book of all the consumers he ever serviced. He actually sat down. And he said, I think the shopkeeper's name is Nutan Bartan Bhandar in Lajpat Nagar, if I'm not wrong. He sent a message to everybody, and my wife got it. We are shut, but we can deliver a Bartan to you at your house. I said, if this guy can innovate,
wow,
what's stopping Luminous to innovate?
True India, sir.
This is India. So, I'm saying that he embraced technology. He made a WhatsApp message on his own laptop, whatever he could do. But the messaging got through. So what I'm trying to say is that the internet is a distraction for a large number of people. Yeah. That's for sure. But how to use it, how to leverage technology and keep the cost system low and adaptable to the last mile is where the innovation.
And there are fair amount of mediums available which are very cost effective.
Absolutely.
It is not always about showing an ad in IPL. No, it's important, but it is not the only way to get the maximum eyeballs.
The grassroots execution is the key to success.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Many ideas will come, but those who execute well make the difference.
Sir, I was reading a report, and we'll conclude with that, where it said that it is no more the product which is the moat, it is the distribution which is the moat. So on that amazing note, sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and wish you all the best of luck and success. And you are at the cornerstone of technology and innovation in the channel space. Do well.
Every example that you gave actually made me think as if I'm standing there. The way you articulated, the way you explained it, it was an amazing learning. And I'm sure for all of those who will be watching us at Channel Champions Season 3, and there are many more such amazing stories coming, we would look forward to see you again soon. But till then, ciao.